What's up, gang? It's Chris Angel, and I am coming at you with another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. So in this episode, we are talking about vision. Without vision, what are you marketing for? Let's dive right into it, because I think sometimes what happens is we hear we're supposed to be on social media. We hear we're supposed to post. We have a business. I mean, that's who you are. My audience is business people. So you know at some level you need to market. You need to create a message for people. But you don't always have clarity around what the vision is. Like, what is your vision? What are you trying to create? And without that vision, then what you're left with in your social posts is like confusing, right? You don't know where to go in your content, in your posting, right? So to take this to the next level, you've got to start to think about, what are you up to? What vision do you have? What are you creating in the world? What difference are you trying to make? If your vision is just about the next transaction, then your content will not inspire and move people to action, right? And we can feel that over here. So your content has to be linked up to a bigger vision in terms of the change you're trying to make in the world, right? So let's dive deeper into this. I want to start with the problem. The problem is that, one, most people don't have vision. They're not clear about it. And I think some of that is like they're confused about where they want to go. They have a lot of ideas. And I know this because it's been me. It's been me. I've had a lot of ideas, right? And sometimes it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick, like, which direction do I want to go? I want to go in multiple directions. But listen, you know what I've learned? I'm 43 now. What I've learned 43 years into life is that with every idea comes a mountain of details. A mountain of details. And most of you, like me, don't understand the amount of details it's going to take to really implement the vision you choose. And so what we do, most of us, what we do is we sort of play on the surface of all the ideas. We like live up here where it feels good to have ideas and vision. We're like, oh, I like this and I like this over here. And we never commit to going into the execution of each idea. Now, we might dabble for a while, right? But we don't commit fully. And the challenge with that, as you can tell, is that if you're really going to create important work in the world and not mess around with all the different ideas, then you've got to go all in. I mean, you've got to commit to the vision, and that's going to come with a mound or a mountain of details. So that's one of the problems. Now, I want you to contrast that, right, with what's possible on the other side if you were to really commit. If you were really to commit to one of the ideas you have, one of the visions you've had, one of the differences you want to make in the world, what becomes available to you is peace of mind, right? Peace of mind. One of the challenges to peace of mind, when we have all the different visions and ideas as big thinkers, as creative people, what happens when we have all the different ideas is that it creates a lot of chaos in our mind because we're chasing rabbits, we're chasing shiny things. But when you commit to a path, a vision, this is where I choose to go, this is the mountain I'm going to climb, then what happens is that all of a sudden you give yourself permission to let the others go, and you start to find peace of mind. Now, I want you to picture you building your business with a sense of peace of mind. I want you to picture all the chaos that surrounds you right now, and I want you to start to look for how that chaos is attached to multiple visions or a lack of any specific vision. It's either attached to multiple visions or lack of any one specific vision, and that creates chaos, right? So when you pick a path, when you pick a destination, this is the mountain I will climb. What happens is you have peace of mind. Now, inside of that peace of mind, what else becomes possible is that you actually start to reallocate energy into accomplishing the thing you say you're going to create, the destination you're headed towards. And for most people in their marketing and in their business, they don't have that. They don't have that sense of clarity, that sense of direction, because they're too attached to the here and now, the tyranny of the urgence, of the urgent, right? Urgency. It's like people stuck in a response to life happening around them, and they can't get free enough from it to go, this is where I'm going, and that stuff doesn't matter. The reason we get attached to and addicted to, I think, all of the urgent things that come up is because we're not clear enough about where we're headed. And when you're not clear enough about where you're headed, then the urgent stuff becomes the thing you spend your time on, right? It's here and now. And I don't have anything else pulling me forward. There's no future pull because I don't have a vision. So if there's no future pull, what you're left with, right? This is the problem. What you're left with is just the here and now. Now, in the here and now, and your life full of responding to other people's urgent needs and matters, you, in your marketing message, can't show up as a leader. You can't show up as a leader. So you post something on Facebook, or you post something on Instagram, or you write a blog post that has nothing to do with what would actually move the needle for your vision. You just are trying to check a box, like, I did my blog post today. I posted to Facebook today. But it makes no impact in the world because you're too busy, and your brain, your creative energy, your resources are too wrapped up in the immediate response to the urgent that's all around you. And again, that's happening because you're not clear about what you really want. And I don't mean like what you really want for like your goal this year in income. What I mean is like the impact you're intending to make on this planet. The important work you have to do. Have you ever noticed, like, you can set a goal? I used to do all of this goal setting, and then the company I was at, we'd be like, set a goal, okay, now double it, and like think really big, and we'd have all these exercises of thinking big, and I'd set these numbers, but the numbers had no emotional pull because it was an exercise in math. It wasn't an exercise in emotional intelligence. It wasn't an exercise in what is Chris really here for. So when you lose touch with what you're really here for, you can set goals and you can be like, oh, this is where I'm headed. The mountain I'm going to climb is like this amount of money. But if that's not linked up to some emotional reward for you, some emotional mission, then what happens is your marketing starts to feel transactional because your goal is transactional. Your vision is transactional. And the result of marketing that is transactional, we don't listen to, the consumer, we don't care about that. We don't want to hear that. We're not interested in that. The only people you'll find participating in your posts when you are marketing from a place of transaction are people who are either doing you a favor, or people who are already in your tribe, who are in the same tribe, like people from your office in your same industry. They're like, hey, way to go, great post, high five, really saw that post you made. But they sell the same thing you sell, and they're in your office. Or it's your mom or your friend, and they're like, hey, way to go, I'm really proud of you. But it's not the people you're trying to reach. It's not the people you're trying to serve. For a lot of you, like me, that's the impact of not having vision. Like if your vision is simply a number, a transaction, an income goal, you're going to miss all the substance of what inspires us to interact with you. So, let's move this into some principles, shall we? Part of the principle behind this, right, is that with vision comes clarity. And that's obvious. I mean, I think that's obvious. And yet, people have a hard time picking which vision. Now, inside of the vision, here's what's also interesting. Another principle is who. So it's not just what are you creating, what is the vision, but it's also who is the vision for. Again, without vision, your marketing will suck. That's just how that's going to go. And part of that is about who. Like if you don't know who it's for, then your marketing can't actually pierce through the noise over here because if you try to say all things to all people, it doesn't resonate. So part of the principle here is not just what are you creating in the world, what is the vision, but who is the vision for? Who is the vision for? And I'm going to tell you, you need to get specific. You need to get clear about who it's for. When I created the show, this is episode 25, so 25 days straight. What I was realizing for me was I want this to, like the conversation of marketing for the rest of us. The rest of us implies a who. The who in the rest of us are people-oriented people who are used to running their business by word of mouth and referral, but don't like the unpredictable nature of word of mouth and referral business, right? And we're not tech, we're not geeks, we're not ahead of the curve, we're not early adopters on technology. We see technology evolving and we know we need to be a part of it, but in a lot of ways we don't get it, we don't understand it. Right? Listen, I am not going to be on the bulletin board of Facebook to see by the minute what are the new changes in Facebook. I'm not going to do that. I will not follow the algorithm and be like, oh, hey, by the way, there's a new algorithm change. Right? I'm not going to go on Google and be like, hey, by the way, Google search engines just changed their algorithm. I'm not doing that. And my tribe doesn't want to do that either. You and me, we don't want to do that. We are people-oriented people who want to make an impact over there with a real human being. We're not out here to try to please bots and algorithms. We're out here to try to make an impact with real humans through authenticity, vulnerability, transparency. And most of us are drawn to relationship-based lead generation models like referral business, word of mouth business, networking business. And yet we realize that type of business has an ebb and flow of business. It results in an income roller coaster. And we want to break through that ceiling. We want something more predictable. We want cause and effect. I run marketing, I get leads. And in order to have that, you have to have marketing. In order to have that, you have to have marketing, right? So part of the principle here is you have to know what the vision is. What is it that I'm creating in this world? And who is it for? Who is it for? The what cannot be a transaction. The what is something aspirational that makes an impact in somebody's life. And the who has to be specific, right? Because once you get specific, you actually know what people, you actually know how to speak to the challenges that those people have, right? Like I just said, people who are people-oriented that have a business in referrals and word of mouth love it because it feels like real relationships, but there is a ceiling in that it creates roller coaster income. I'm clear about who I want to serve, right? The people I want to serve have important work in this world. They have something beyond the next transaction that they want to do while they're here. And they're people-oriented. In fact, a lot of times, my tribe, we're very nice people. We're nice people. We're just very nice. And our niceness gets in the way of how we lead the people we're trying to serve. Our niceness can oftentimes put us as a doormat. Our niceness can often be misconceived as weakness. It can be misconceived as we're a pushover. There are a lot of ways that being nice, listen, and here's the other thing. We are not willing to be jerks about it. We're not, we value humanity enough or so much that we're not willing to be a jerk about the sales process. And so we're like, yeah, I mean, choose it. Like you either want it or you don't want it. We're afraid to make calls to action in our marketing because we're afraid to be perceived as self-promoting. We don't want people to mistake what we're up to for that we're just trying to take advantage of people. And so we err on the side of being too vague. We err on the side of giving too much without knowing where we want somebody to progress to. I know, guys, I know this one big time. For years, I know this one big time. So, principle, you have to know what you're creating in the world that is beyond the transaction, and you have to know who it's for so that you can speak specifically to their life circumstance. If you actually go through previous episodes, you'll see that people have said in these episodes, I feel like you're describing me. Right. Because I know who I'm talking to. So, that being said, let's move into, I want to move from the principles now, and I want to move into how do we put this out in the world? Like, what is the model here? Well, I will start with this. The first thing you need to do is you need to get clear about what it is. Again, the vision. What is this for? And who is it for? That creates a frame for your content. If if what it's for and who it's for, how do I say this? I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you take a picture of your lunch, or you create a Facebook Live about what you ate for dinner and how it got stuck in your throat, shout out to you know who on that one, right? I get it. Like, listen, the first step, I'm just happy that you're going to go live. I'm happy that you're making a video. But I don't need 30 days of you doing that. What I need 30 days next is, like, good for you. You've gone live twice in a row, right? 2 days in a row. High five. Way to go. And what's next is you need to start finding the message of your content, right? So the first place to give this life is I want you to start creating content every day. Every day. Every day. Now, as I say that, I realize some of you may have to, like, look at what just came up for you when I said that, because some of you there's a check in your gut about every day. What is that? Like, oh, I wouldn't know what to say every day. Oh, I would be bothering people if I went live every day. I don't have time every day. Like, you need to start to look at that, right? Because if you get really clear about the vision, you realize, like, you need to go live every day. Like, you don't have time to waste, gang. You need to be creating content every day. So, the model of this here, I want you to go live every day, and I want that, or record it, fine, record it. Not live, fine, whatever. But it should be, I think, a video every day. And that content needs to be specific to the impact you're trying to make in this world. That's it for now. Like, what I would say, I mean, in terms of action, right? What I would say is post every day specific to the content or the impact you're trying to make. And as you create that content, I want you to start to think about, like, what are the challenges? Oftentimes, gang, what happens is who it's for, what we're doing and who it's for often comes from our own story. The reason I'm serving the tribe I'm serving is because that has been me. I'm a people-oriented person who values authenticity, transparency, vulnerability. I am too generous. I give too much away. I don't invite people to the next step because I'm afraid they're going to perceive it as something like I'm asking for me, or there's some manipulation or something, right? My tribe is me, and your tribe is you. And so you need to create content from the place of letting them know what you've learned so that they can move through the hurdles that you took so much. Guys, I've been in business 17 years. In this show, I am sharing with you years of life lessons in order to shorten your learning curve. You need to do the same for your people, right? Like, you go share what you've learned about the impact you're trying to make with the people you're trying to serve so that they don't have to go through that learning curve. Okay? So that's it, gang. Here's what I want to, let's finish with this. Like, just know that you need to get really clear. In the absence of you being clear, right, your marketing is not going to land. Now, if you can't get clear, right, you're in your head, you're like, I don't know what to pick, I don't know, there's too many ideas, then where there is to go is to your gut. It's not in your head. The answer is not in your head. The answer is in your soul. The answer is in your gut. And what you need to start to do is feel, not think, feel for what feels true, what feels right. Right? Guys, this is a big deal because a lot of times look, if you go through my journals over the last 20 years, so much of my journaling has been cerebral. It's been logical, a lot of thinking and churning over ideas. Where I'm getting to now is like being still and listening to my gut for what is the next right move. And sometimes you get promptings that don't make sense to you. You're like, I don't know why I would do that. But if it's the prompting, if it's what your soul is being inspired to do, then what I've learned is that that's a good direction to go, right? So if you're like, what is my vision? I don't know what my vision is. Then you need to get still. You need to get quiet and start to feel for who are you trying to serve and what impact are you trying to make? And then your brain is going to kick in. It's going to start to go to the how. How do I do it? What do I need? La, 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 la. And you just need to like settle and just think about, okay, how can I help the next, what message can I create today that would help somebody that also wants to go this direction, the who and the what, right? Okay, gang, that is it for today. Just know what I want you to do is start to anchor your marketing inside of a vision. Your marketing, your Facebook posts, your blog posts, your videos outside of a vision have no impact, and they won't get you closer to what impact you're trying to make in the world. So make sure that your content is linked up to what it is you're trying to do here. Okay? Thanks for joining me tonight. We'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Until then, have a great night, and we'll see you.